I'm live. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Hello and welcome to Radio Works World. My name is Marion Bevington and I am the Vision host. Today, I was going to talk about your imagination and mine because our imaginations are incredible things. Because did you know that, well, I mean, you use your imagination now, right? So imagine, I don't know, a million years ago. Imagine it's a million years ago or something like that. And humans are not yet fully human as we know them today. Humans are still like apes or chimpanzees or whatever it was we were, whatever you believe. Or we were not yet created, if you believe in the world was created in 7 days. Oh, I'm wandering into territory I don't want to go into. Anyway, imagination. Imagine it's a million years ago and imagine that what Charles Darwin said was true. And if that was true and we were apes, now in that place in your imagination, you're no longer this powerful human being. You probably don't even have the ability to speak. You do have the ability to survive and live and thrive in a community of the same species. So if we watch a community of apes or chimpanzees, then we see that they actually survive very well. They thrive very well when they are left in nature. And they are not the rulers of the world or the earth. They are not in command of anything other than their territory and their society. So our imagination helps us to see that, doesn't it? Now, think about this. What is so brilliant about the imagination is that it's actually what enabled us to become the rulers of the world, if you like. Because through our imagination, we've been able to create the world that we live in today. We've been able to, as a society, as humankind, we've been able to create and build all the technology and the amazing life that we have today. And it really is amazing. Now, I know it's full of horror stories, and I also know it's full of beauty, it's full of creativity, it's full of greatness. And as our beautiful friend Marina always says, we are stardust. You are stardust. So am I. We are made from star material. We are stars. Stretch the imagination. You are a star, and so am I. And so what I wanted to explore a little bit today is how we've come from this insignificant apes, if you like, to become the rulers of the earth. And it is because of the imagination. So how can that be? Well, I am the ruler of my own life and I make choices every day and I am in control of those choices. Therefore, I am the ruler of those choices. Now, what I teach and what I help people to understand is that I am the ruler of my life. I am the creator of my life. I have to live within the confines of the society around me, of the environment around me, of the nature around me, of the people around me. I have to live in that experience. And within all of that, I control what I do. I choose everything I do. And I choose which beliefs I believe. Now, a belief is just a thought. Because we don't say we believe. I don't believe I have a hand. I have a hand. It's here. It's solid. It's material. I don't have to believe it. The truth is it's here. It exists. Whether I believe it or not, it's here and it exists. Beliefs are so powerful. There's a brilliant story about beliefs, and beliefs are all sourced from the imagination. So there's a man and he's in a mental hospital, and he's suffering with all kinds of crazy delusions and psychoses, and he's really not very well at all according to the medical model. And his key belief is that he's dead. He absolutely believes that he is dead. And there's nothing that they can do or say to stop him believing that he's dead. Obviously, his imagination is huge, and it's working very well because it's helping him to really believe, absolutely believe, that he is dead. So one clever little doctor comes in one day and says, well, sir, we have a new experiment that we'd like to do. And because you're dead, you're the only person here today that we can actually do this experiment upon. Would you allow me to do this experiment on you? Because we really need, you know, proof that dead bodies don't bleed. Do you believe that dead bodies don't bleed? And this guy, that don't bleed. And this guy says, yes, of course a dead body can't bleed. How can it bleed? It's just a dead body. The doctor says, great. So he gets an injection, a needle. What are they called? A syringe. He gets a syringe and a needle, hypodermic, and he places it in the arm of the guy. Probably did it here, actually. In the arm of the guy. And some blood comes out, and he moves the needle, and the blood continues to flow, and the blood's coming out onto the skin, and the doctor says, oh my goodness, can you believe it? You are bleeding, therefore you are not dead. And the guy said, no, that's fine, I am dead. But dead people do bleed. I was wrong. So we can see the power of a belief is that we absolutely believe it's true. You know, we would swear on it. We would put our house on it. We would put our life on it. We would swear on our children's life, on our parents' life. We swear on the things that we believe. And yet, all they are ideas in the imagination. They're creations that we've taken in. And the imagination has created from that idea a sense of belief. It's like a sense of knowing, isn't it? So, for example, different people believe in different religions. People believe in, there are so many things that people believe in, but religion is particularly powerful. Now, I don't know if there is a God, called Jesus, called Muhammad, called Krishna, called Shiva. I don't know, because I've never met any being that I believe is a God. I've never met one. I've never had the material manifestation like my hand in front of me. So I don't know. And how can I know that there is this God or this dinosaur? I've never met a dinosaur. How do I know dinosaurs existed? Well, they dig up the bones. So there's this material thing that I can see. So I can see that there's a bone for a dinosaur. But for example, if we think about the belief of evolution. So how can I know that I used to be an ape? Well, not me, obviously, personally, and ancestrally. How can we know that? I mean, even with Darwin, when they dig up all of the bones and they show us the timeline, there are jumps. So suddenly, from a Homo sapien, a Neanderthal to Homo sapien, suddenly there's a bit of a jump and things shift very quickly, which would not happen in the normal timescales of normal evolutionary development. So even that, even science can't prove that that is so, that it is as real as my hand is in front of me. So I just wanted to explore that a little bit, because during my daily meditations, I like to contemplate things that I've experienced or heard or thought of or imagined. I just like to contemplate them with questions about how can I know what the truth is. And in a belief, we are kind of implying, in fact, no, we are definitely implying that a belief, it's not a truth. Because if it was truth, we would call it truth. We wouldn't call it belief. So just the language alone helps me to understand Where am I experiencing something that I don't know is true? Where am I experiencing something that I believe is true, but I can't prove it? And when I can't prove it, by closing my mind and assuming it's the only way, I am closing my mind. I am blinkering myself. I am stopping myself from seeing bigger opportunities. Now, what I work on at the moment with many of my clients is stage fright. And stage fright can go from full-on panic attack on stage to a nervousness that stops you from presenting confidently and comfortably, and stops you from enjoying the experience and being clear about your message. So stage fright is a whole range of things. You know, as I say, it can go from utter terror to, you know, just a lack of fun, a lack of enjoyment. And anything in between is stage fright. And what I've realized in my contemplating of the imagination and how the imagination has made me into the creator of my life, because my imagination helps me to believe and absorb the information that might not be the truth, but is enough to get me through life, to bring me to the point where I am completely in charge of all of the choices that I make. Now, obviously, if I make silly choices, I may end up dead. I may end up in jail. I may end up with many problems. But I have the power to make all of the choices that I make. And with my clients, what I know, and from my own experience, what I know is that our imagination is the thing that stops us from having fun. Actually, it's the only thing that stops me from having fun, my beliefs and my imagination. Because through all of the yogic practices, the meditation practices, I really believe, there's that word again, I really believe that joy is my natural state. You know, the joy of just enjoying life. Now, enjoyment, you know, it doesn't have to be outrageous passion. It doesn't have to be overtly excited. Enjoyment is just a sense of being, a state of being. And I believe that it is my fundamental state. I also believe it's yours too. But then I can't do anything about that, but I can do something about my own. And so with the imagination, we begin to believe things that create stage fright. We begin to believe that we have to be perfect. We begin to believe that we have to be clever. We have to be gorgeous. We have to have the right lighting. We have to have the right microphone. We have to have the right audience. We have to have the right subject. We begin to believe that we have to do something other than just being. Now, obviously, if you're going to do a presentation on stage, just being be a bit boring for the audience, wouldn't it? You know, you need to say something, you need to share a message. And so most of the clients that I work with, oh, and I want to tell you something about next week as well. We've got an amazing event next week called Making the News. And Making the News is an evening event in London, in central London. It's in a beautiful spot over in Battersea next to the river. And Making the News is all about how to be the news, the good news, because you are stardust and you shine brightly. And how can you be making the right choices, having the right beliefs, enjoying life in a way that your brilliant stardust shines for everybody to experience if they want to? And what is it that makes us want to have an experience? So this, oh, it's great, this, isn't it? My mind is going on a night stream. So where do we gain the images and the pictures and the things that we use in our imagination? We gain them from the media, don't we? Mainly from screens, from newspapers, from books, radio. All the different media gives us lots of images, sounds, messages and meanings that we often believe. We take it as read. We take it as true. And in fact, it's just somebody else's imagination being presented back to us. And we go, oh, that's cool. I'll have that one. I'll take that one in. And so what I want to do is I want to look at, so the imagination is built, or the beliefs are built through the imagination. So the imagination is receiving media, images and sounds and messages. It receives information from our parents, from our ancestors, you know, those chimps and apes I was talking about before. It receives information from our friends. It receives information from society. So there's all these different types of information, you know, there's people that we want to model, people that we don't. And all of this creates my belief structures, and that's where I live from. I live from this place. So how can I share my message? Because I believe that what I do is very useful. I believe that helping to clear stage fright not only is good for people who want to stand on stage or stand in front of a video, I believe it's good for everybody, for every one of us, for every one of you. Because when we're comfortable and confident and enjoying being ourselves, then we are at our peak. I think this is the best that we can be, to be a powerful, passionate me, regardless of whether it's perfect, the lighting's good, the sound is good, the stories, regardless of all of that stuff, just being me, doing it, enjoying it passionately, being it, not doing it, being it. Be a human being, not a human doing. Another one of Marina Nanny's great little sayings. I don't know if she made that one up, but she says it a lot and I love it. And I always think of her when I think of it. And so as a person, if you're a business person, if you're a brand in your own right, if you work for a business that has a brand, all of these roles that we play, we want to be able to communicate with people, don't we? We want to share our message. I want to share the message of how you can stand up and speak out and be comfortable and enjoy yourself and allow your stardust to sparkle. Allow your brilliant starlight from inside to shine out and to be shared by others who want to share it, who want to take it on. How you can often really help others by the messages that you have. And the way that I help you to do that is I help you to understand which of your beliefs are not helping you to just be yourself, which of your beliefs are making your life uncomfortable, which of your beliefs are making your life feel less fulfilling, feel needy, feel like you're in lack, feel like you're not enough, you're not good enough, you don't have enough, you're not happy enough. What are the beliefs that are working inside you, inside your head, inside your body? What are those beliefs that are stopping you from enjoying your life? Because really the root of speakeasy is speaking authentically, speaking from your inner you. And if you watch the last show that we did, there are 5 key areas that are needed for you to speak from your authentic self, your inner authority and your authentic you expressing itself. And those 5 key areas are commitment. So committing to being yourself, committing to being you, and committing to sharing your good news, your message with the world. The next C is controlling your state. So again, I want to be in a good place. I want to be confident and comfortable, especially if I'm talking about my business or I want to share the work that I do. When I feel confident and comfortable, then it's like a ripple effect. It's infectious. And when I want listeners to be comfortable and confident listening to me, I have to have that. I have to control my state so that you're in the same state as me. The next C is courage, because would you agree with me? It does take courage sometimes to stand up and be myself, or for you to stand up and be yourself. When other people have different beliefs to you, then it really takes courage for you to stand up and stand in your power, stand in what you believe is true. If it gets proven wrong, that's fine. We can all change our minds. And it doesn't make me any less of a person if I change my mind. It doesn't make you any less of a person if you change your mind. In fact, for me, I have great respect for people who are good at changing their mind, because that makes them flexible. And I'm a yoga teacher. I love a bit of flexibility. So we have commitment, we have controlling your state, we have, all begin with C, so it makes it easier, doesn't it? That we have courage. The next one is about concentration, because concentration is important when you're sharing something, because you want to stay on point. You know, if you just wander all over the place, people don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. There's no message in that. It's messy, not a message. So in order to make your message clear and not messy, concentration is really important. And then the final one is comfortable, being comfortable and confident. So confidence is a really beautiful place to be. Now, I don't know anybody who does not enjoy confidence. And confidence is that place where you feel that what you're doing and what you're saying and how you're being are in alignment. So there's no dishonesty, there's no distrust, there's no doubt. Or if there is, it's okay, it's accepted. This is what real confidence is about. And as I say, I don't know anybody who doesn't want a little bit more confidence. So all of these are what are needed for us to speak easily, to be ourselves. So as I said, the event that I'm going to be at next week is in central London, and it's called Making the News. And so if you want to get your message out there, whether that's just to be more confident in how you are as a person and how you speak to others, or whether it's because you've got a business and you've got a brand, or you've got a message that you want to get out there from stage or through video or from television or from radio, the team that we've pulled together, that work together, that collaborate as a community and work on making the news are just fantastic. We've got so many brilliant minds in that group. So I help you to grow in confidence. We've got Cheryl Chapman, who's my business partner. She is the most amazing storyteller. She can put your story into such a beautifully crafted tale that you will inspire the imagination of everybody who hears your story and to get your message out there. It might be your personal story. It might be a family member's story. It might be your business's story. Stories speak to the deepest parts of the imagination. They get inside the nooks and the crannies of our imagination. And Cheryl is a master craftswoman when it comes to stories. Not only the creating of them, but the sharing and telling of them as well. So you get loads of confidence with me. You get brilliant stories with Cheryl. Marina Nani is a platform producer. So she's created this platform I'm speaking to you on now. How would you like to have your own radio show? How would you like to be able to share your message with the world through the medium of radio and video? You can see me on video too. She also is the developer, the creator, along with her beautiful son Dari, of the events where we go and we share our stardust from stage. So we stand on stage, we stand in front of audiences live, we have videos and photographers there, and we share our message. The other thing that Marina can do is, obviously the radio is one that I'm on now, television. She has a really great connection with Sky TV, magazines. She runs 2 magazines and has connections to many others, books and writing, being an author. She's connected to that world in a great way that she can really help you not only craft your book and hone your book, but to get your book out there and in front of the people who you want to read your book. Do you want to write a book? Have you done it yet? Do you need any help? Because again, the team that we've got together at Making the News is perfect for anybody that wants to write a book that has a message that they want to share. Because when you've written the book, the most difficult next step is marketing and getting your book out there. And so we've got all of the skills in the team that we've put together in Making the News. So you must come along. And I'm gonna finish off by just getting Dari to come in and join me for a moment. Dari, come and join me, because what I'd like Dari to do is to just share something with you about his experience of speaking from stage, because you used to be a lot shyer, didn't you, Dari?
Marion, yes, I used to be a bit shy.
And what I noticed the last time I saw you speak, Derry, is you, for a moment, you were shy at the beginning. You were sort of a bit nervous. But when you were asked a question about how we can help you, and I'd love you to share your answer, because Derry's a generation younger than me. And I'd love you to share your answer, Derry, because it was great. And you were full of confidence and passion. And you really enjoyed that moment. You were even a little bit, I don't know, frustrated at the fact that we'd even dared to ask you the question. So share with us, what's the answer when we say, as the older generation to you, Derry, how can we help you? What's your answer?
What was my answer? What is still my answer? I would say my answer would be, we don't need help. We just need to do it ourselves. But you know, speaking on stage is stressful. You do get a lot of anxiety. I get everyone, you know, everyone thinks that everyone else that speaks on stage doesn't have this anxiety, but I think everyone does. What I did, or, you know, as you mentioned, this at the start of me speaking, I was quite nervous and everything. But then as I sort of stopped paying attention to the crowd, I suppose, or where I was, or the fact that people were looking at me, and then I just focused on what I was saying. I think it helps to speak from the heart and really mean what you say. Then you know, that focus of, am I, you know, saying the right things or not, sort of disappears, because you're thinking, I'm speaking truthfully and honestly, and this is what I actually think. So I think as long as you know, you can say to yourself that what I'm saying is what I honestly think, a lot of that anxiety goes away very fast. Marina being on stage with me and asking me questions and making it easier for me as well helped a lot. I didn't have to think of questions for myself, so that was a big help. But yeah, definitely speaking from the heart, I found is probably the best way to kind of calm those nerves.
Excellent. So, and Derry, I'm going to do some work with you, because we promised that we'd do this. Yeah, I've just remembered we haven't actually made any.
Now, yeah.
We've got it on public record now. So we're going to do some work together. Two things that you just mentioned there, which are brilliant. And again, this is all part of the Stage Fright Away system, the speaking system that I teach. One of them is that it's when you're in conversation that you actually are more comfortable. So imagining that the questions are either coming from somebody else in reality, or you imagine them in your mind,
yes,
what the audience might be asking you. And in that way, your speech becomes a conversation. And we're all much more comfortable in conversation, aren't we?
I would agree with that, yes.
And then the other one was speaking from the heart. When you're congruent and you're being yourself, the courage that we gain when we speak from the heart. And the lovely thing about the word courage is, in French, the word heart is coeur, and in Spanish it's corazón. So the word courage comes from the word heart.
I never knew that, but that makes sense.
Okay, great. Oh, thank you for joining me at the end. Next, it always helps me.
Thank you for having me on.
It always helps me to wind things up when I get to the end, and I have somebody to share with me. So I don't think I'm the only person alive. And what did you think about this whole thing about imagination? It's been in my imagination for the last few days.
Well, imagination is important. I think it can be a two-edged sword, because you can have bad imagination, you can have good imagination. It also feeds into your anxiety. So if you're anxious, you're probably going to imagine the worst. So perhaps I would say just sort of gather yourself first, and, you know, push that anxiety away, and then use your imagination.
Fabulous. It's about habits, isn't it? If we use our imagination in a habitual way that's positive, we'll feel good. If we use it in a habitual way that's rubbish, we'll feel bad. It's all about habits. Yay! All right. Thank you, Derry. Thank you so much for joining me.
And thank you. And I know this is a bit of a plug, but I would like to invite everyone next week to the event of Make the News. Just think of it this way: you're not going there for nothing. You're going to walk away with professional photos for one. We're going to hear your story for two. You're going to be featured in a magazine free. So, you know, for the price of going to the cinema, you're going to get a lot of value. So I'd recommend for everyone who is interested in sort of, you know, taking their personal brand, either starting it or moving it to the next stage, to definitely attend. It will be worth your time.
Yeah, if you don't come along to the event next week, then I'm not going to use any insulting words, but I could use lots of insulting words right now. It's going to be great. We're going to have such a good time. And as Dari's just said, it's the place where you can get some great pictures, meet great people, get into a magazine, really become the person who makes the news, because you are worth it. You are the news. And you can join us while we make our news.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for having me on.
Bye, Dari. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.